My great-grandfather came from Cuba in the 1890s with his 4 sons without an education or any knowledge of English language. But he came here with a dream and that it was an opportunity. He worked very hard, where he became one of the managers of the Florida Brewery. And so on December 17, 1903, the Florida Brewery opened the Columbia Saloon. In 1905, my great-grandfather saved up the money and bought it and turned the name into the Columbia Cafe.
When the Columbia Cafe first opened in the early 1900s, we primarily served the many immigrants that came from Spain and Cuba and Italy, that so many of them were cigar rollers in the local cigar factories, and so they would come to the cafe to get their favorites from home. You know, back then the Cuban sandwich was known as the mixta sandwich, which was often made of just whatever meats and cheeses they could find.
As a child, we'd always come to the Columbia, especially on Fridays, and we each had a special item. But I loved the arroz con pollo. I loved the yellow rice and chicken. And I used to love it with the dark meat and the leg. And that was my go-to.
Growing up, family dinners were very much a regular thing, whether it was going to my grandparents' house. And my grandmother was a wonderful cook, and she would cook all of the Spanish classics that we loved. But I remember so often, usually on Saturday nights, coming with my grandmother to the Columbia to watch the flamenco show. And before the flamenco dancers would come on, my grandfather would play the violin. And so my sister and I got to order whatever our favorite item was off the menu. For me, it always changed, but chicken yellow rice has always been one of my favorites, and I still cook it at home till this day for my little girl.
Just when I come into this restaurant, thinking of each dish, who I was with, and each family member, I'm blessed to have those great memories.